So when you're looking at the form follows function idea, which was an advent of the kind of modernist movement of the late 19th century, what they were trying to say by that was your form should essentially follow the overall function of the thing, and so these will be in alignment and it'll be authentic. It's like, I don't know about that, because think about a door. What's the purpose of a door? A door is to open and close, separate two different spaces, right? And a door to the grandest cathedral, the door to an outhouse, they're still doors. They still perform the same function, but their purposes are very, very different. And what those doors look like, how those doors behave, the size, the weight, everything about them is going to be slightly different, even though the function is the same. So I believe that form should follow purpose. And within that level of thought, we can't design purely for function. And when you design from a plan approach only, what you're focused on is the functionality of the plan. Oh, I love my kitchen right next to my living room, and then I want my dining room offset to the side. I really want a dining nook here, and I have to have this cute little breakfast nook for my kids and stuff, and you get so fixated on that it really screws up the outside of the house. And that happens all the time because we get fixated on things that don't actually fit within the exterior stylistic parameters that we're aiming for. And the tail can begin to wag the dog. So if form follows purpose rather than function, what we've done is we're embedding an idea of beauty within the overall home so that there's more harmony from the outside and the inside within the overall composition. And that's what we're aiming for. We're not aiming for just functionality. It's like a cook can cook you a meal. A chef can make a work of art that make your taste buds jump up and down for joy, right? And that's what we're trying to do. Well, where we almost all begin our design is scribbling out our floor plan on a piece of paper, right? When we flip through books, we're looking at floor plans, and we always come and say, I love this layout. This layout just really resonates with me. Can you do something with this? And then make the outside look like this, and you bring some sort of very specific stylistic constraint that has nothing to do with what's on the other side of those windows, and is like, what am I supposed to keep from this, and how do I reconcile these two things? I can't. And so understanding inside out versus outside in is critical to executing a proper project. If you have a certain look that you're going for, a stylistic look, you want to start with the parameters of that style, because if you start from an inside out and just floor plan, then the outside really is just an afterthought. If it's just an afterthought and we're putting a roof on it just so it can cover up the thing rather than a deliberate roof, that's all it is. And our world is an afterthought. It is the result of a form follows function approach, an inside out design. And if we were to look at it in form, like what is the kind of the stylistic or symbolic representation of a house and the simplicity and order and hierarchy that goes into it from the outside, and how is that reflected and manifest on the inside? That's the proper approach. And so when I'm looking at something, when you come to me, I want stylistic parameters of X. I want programmatic parameters of Y. And then I can begin putting these together and know where I can put the overall parts and pieces together within those parameters relative to the site plan and the site constraints. You know where you live. In North Carolina and Virginia and back east, you have all in Chicago, the Midwest, these old brick warehouses. There's still a level of beauty about those because there's craftsmen who really put those things together. There's detail on them, and those details are important to really have character. An outside-in approach to design starts with that character. It's not a function only. It starts with the overall purpose, and the purpose is embedded in the character of the overall project. And then once we know the overall project and what that project is supposed to look like and how it's a symbol of whatever it's a symbol of, and it fits within the urban fabric in a particular way, then we can begin to put the inside onto the inside. And trust me, we're still going to make the thing functional, but what we have embedded in the fundamental level of it is beauty. We're trying to achieve beauty, not just function. We still go through my filters in terms of it's got to follow code, it's got to be constructible, it's got to be functional, but it's got to be beautiful. If we're aiming for beauty first, we'll make sure that those other three things that are above beauty are taken care of so we can still accomplish beautiful work. So, in the end, inside-out design leads to the outside just being an afterthought and the world in which we live, it leaves a lot to be desired. Outside-in design, where we really think of our house, our buildings, as civic works of art, as contributing members to society, as symbols of our values and what we value in terms of beauty, order, and purpose, then we will actually come up with architecture that is timeless, neighborhoods that are beautiful, that are worth walking down, and things that we can pass on to our children and our children's children and make this world a more beautiful place.